into fingers and close your eyes. And observe your normal, natural, soft, tranquil breath. If you notice any thought, any thought, any thought, acknowledge it and return to your normal breath. Thoughts come. So that's fine. And every time we notice we are thinking, return without any judgments back to the breath. Normal, natural breath. A state where we think. It is important. And a state of no thoughts is so very beautiful, blissful. To reach a state of no thoughts, we simply observe our breath, natural breath. We will have some nice soft music to remind us to be with the breath. Just be with your breath. Last 1 minute. Let us all stay in silence for 1 minute. Slowly become aware of your physical body and your surroundings. Last 20 seconds. Ten seconds. Now, you may place your hands over your eyes, or you may also choose to stay back with your eyes closed as we go into the topic sharing. If you would like to come out of meditation and open your eyes, you can do so now and have some water. So today we will connect to the wisdom of Vimalananda from the book of AGHORA. So he had practiced various sadhanas in his lifetime. He passed away in the year 1983, living in Mumbai for most of his life, but he had practiced a lot of, let's say, practices, sadhanas in his search for the truth, and then he shares his understanding on karma and runanubandhana. So, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi mata darashe nayanam means birth and death and living in a womb over and over and over again. What is the purpose of being born? To recognize yourself, to realize that you are neither the body nor the mind, but rather the eternal soul, which is the ultimate unity. Call it Atma, Paramapurusha, Brahman, or what you like. How is one born into the world though? What makes an individual take birth? Some say that karma is at the root of everything. But when they are asked the origin of karma, they say that karma is eternal. But how is that possible? If karma was eternal, how could anyone ever escape from it? Actually, the law of karma is nothing else but Newton's law of motion. Each action causes an equal but opposite reaction. There is no fundamental difference between action and reaction since their relationship is such that whenever one occurs, the other has to follow. This is simple cause and effect. This is why I always say cause is effect concealed and effect is cause revealed. When you know one, you know the other. If you know the potentiality inherent in the seed, you can predict what sort of tree it will produce. If you know the egg, you know the bird. If there is no end to action and reaction, how could anyone ever hope to get out of the whirlpool of life? How could you ever hope to realize yourself? There must be a way out, and there is. God is never cruel or unjust. Humans are, and we project our limitations onto Him. To get out of the grip of karma, you must first realize that all karma is due to runa, debt. Karma can occur between two individuals only if there is some bondage of debt between them. I call this runanubandhana from Sanskrit. Runa means debt, anubandhana, bondage. So, the debt arising from the bondage. For example, if I steal something from you in this lifetime, the opportunity for me to steal from you can arise only if a debt exists between you and me. Only if you owe me something. If there is no bondage, I will not be able to locate your home or will not find what I want even if I do burgle it. And if I steal from you, instead of receiving out of your own free will from you as a gift the thing I want, it is highly likely that you must have stolen from me in the past. Your past action creates a like attitude in me. This is a very much simplified example, of course, but you can get the idea from it. My theft from you is not a karma. It becomes a karma only when I identify myself with the act of stealing. As long as I do not self-identify myself with the robbery, it is not a karma for me. It may be unwise. It will hurt your feelings. It may land me in jail. You may beat me up or shoot me in return. But it is no karma. It is only a past runa working its way out. Self-identification with one's actions converts them into karmas by bonding the ego down more tightly to the limited temporary personality. I repeat, self-identification with one's actions converts them into karmas by binding the ego down more tightly to the limited temporary personality. If I write a check for 10 million rupees and fail to sign it, it is valueless. Even though I performed the action of writing it and giving it to you. Once I sign it, and you present it to my bank to be honored, well, I'm in trouble unless I have at least 10 rupees in my account. So here the act of signing is what he speaks of, identifying the action with ego. So remember, only the ego has the power to self-identify. Your ego is continuously self-identifying with your body and your personality. I have black hair. I like race horses, etc., etc. Thanks to the ego, We are all able to remain alive because as soon as the ego ceases to self-identify with the body, an individual dies. The difficulty is that the ego not only self-identifies with the body, it also self-identifies with all the actions performed by the body. The ego tries to protect itself by preventing the repaying of karmic debts which have fallen due. Thus, new karmas are created. This is interesting. I repeat, the ego tries to protect itself by preventing the repaying of karmic debts which have fallen due. Thus, new karmas are created. Suppose I know I have a runa bandhana with you. If I am wise, I will ensure that the debt is paid off. It will mean less bondage to the world and will bring me closer to my goal of self-realization. People enjoy being repaid, but usually bark when it comes to paying out. The result is karma. In my case, I am very anxious to finish off my cycles of births and deaths. So I allow every person who has any runanubandhana with me to take from me whatever they are entitled to, whether they are destined to make my life miserable or to make me poor or whatever, I don't mind. Let them do it. They cannot take from me any more than the value of the debt I owe them. The moment I object in any way, even mentally, then karma has begun. Likewise, if I have to take from someone, I take only what I know I am entitled to, no more and no less. Now I know I have the advantage of knowing about my runanubandhanas. But anyone, even someone who has no idea at all about who he owes and who owes him, can make good use of this attitude. The more you scheme and plot to snatch from others, the harder you bind yourself down in karmas. The freer you are, accepting when it is given and giving when it is requested, the more of your runanubandhanas are cleared and the closer you come to your goal. This is why I always say that life is only a memory. It is the memory of all one's runanubandhanas of countless births. This memory is stored in your causal body, from which the runanubandhanas project for their fulfillment at the appropriate moment. If you have given a lot in your past births, then you will have many people to act as your debtors in this birth, and you will have sweet memories. If you have taken ruthlessly from everyone in the past, they will take from you ruthlessly in this time around, and your life will be filled with bitter memories. However you look at it, life is nothing but a memory, be it bitter or sweet. And remember that the sweet memories can also get you into karmic troubles. Suppose someone owes me money and I demand it from him or kill him for it, instead of permitting him to pay me in his own time, according to his own sweet will. Or suppose I am a doctor and a loyal patient suddenly stops coming and I react with indignation or with insulting behavior. The moment you act to protect what you feel to be your self-interest, your ego, karma, adheres to you like mud. People ask me, but how did all this start? How could, yeah, oh yeah, that's it. So this is about bandhana and karma. This is quite a big chapter. I thought of sharing this extract, which has quite interesting content. This made me contemplate quite deeper when I read this and started to connect to certain truths, and then even looking at people around and then certain experiences in my life. So, I started to realize and get a bit of clarity in the events. And many times we don't understand the reasons behind certain experiences, events that happen in our life. But then when we look through the eyes of karma, but then, it really needs a, a very calm mind, I would say, or rather kind of experience to understand these dynamics of karma. Like he had said, with those examples of stealing, that a person has this thought of stealing from another person, which means that in one of his past lives, he had this other person had stolen from this person. And even if someone comes to steal from you, if there is no runanubandhana, he would not find anything or he would not steal anything from you. So these are some interesting statements that he put there to make us, in a way, understand this topic of karma and runanubandhana. So I remember one of my colleagues some years ago, and he had rented his house, and the ones who stayed in his house stopped paying the rent, and then he could not make them vacate. In the end, they stayed for a year, and then they damaged the home and they left, making him pay a lot to repair that home with a lot of mental, stress. So after a few months that he underwent and then everything came back to normal, suddenly he came to an understanding saying, I see this whole event in this way. So all the money that I lost because of this event, I might have lost in any different way. For example, I might have got sick and I have paid that money to the doctor. But probably somehow I got rid of that, or let's say I have paid it out in this way through these persons who had stayed in my home without paying rent. So when he said this statement, I was quite surprised to the way he started looking at things. So, and then when I read this article about Runam Bandhana, he immediately came to my memory, just connecting to the similar, in the similar lines, how he had basically connected to his own experience. So there are so many such experiences we do not understand. Okay, here his example was mostly in terms of monetary things, but it could also be at personal level, how we interact and what we share between bondings or between personal experiences between people. So it's a very interesting topic, karma. I really liked how he had put certain things and the aspect of, when we do an action and we do not self-identify with that action, there would be no karma attached to it. That is what even in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, right? Your duty is just to do the action, but without expecting the result, which means basically self-identifying your action. Because the moment we self-identify to that action, we look through the results. So when we reach to a state of doing actions without expecting or without looking towards the results, then basically we are karma free. We're not self-identifying ourselves with that action. So I thanks a lot for patiently being here and being part of this sharing and as well the meditation. I'm just seeing the message from Shashank about the audio. I do not know if the wisdom came through well. So if anyone would like to share, yes, Shashank.
Hi Ram, thank you so much for a wonderful meditation. I joined in the last 10 minutes. It was great. And yes, during your message, in the middle we couldn't hear, or at least like I couldn't hear properly, but later it was okay.
Okay.
So yeah, but overall, I feel yeah, quite a deep topic. But the way you ended is amazing. That not to identify with our results, right? Results of the actions,
Mhm.
which will nullify the karma. And the examples you said, oh yeah, are quite profound. So it makes us think of certain events, why they might have happened. Like if someone is, yeah, lending money or borrowing money,
Yeah.
and we might feel bad if it didn't go in a good manner. But now this also explains. So thank you.
Yeah, exactly. He also says, right, we are all happy to get the money, but we find it difficult when we have to pay back. But basically, that is what is again. The fact of that someone need to pay to some person is a part of his runanubandhana, and the more he holds it without giving, that becomes part of the karma. So it's such a deeper cycle that goes on.
Quite a complex process, right? Wow.
Exactly. And when you read this book, so I recommend everyone who really are ready to read um, such things, there is a lot in this book through the stories that he shared. And basically, Vimalananda, his family was a billionaire in those times. And as far as the story goes, they used to own a lot of part of Bombay in those times. And as he becomes spiritual and he understood his, let's say, cycle of Lunar Bandhas, basically he towards the end of his life, he became almost, he experienced times where he had no money. And he says, I just let it go because I understand the cycle of these bandhas. So such a deep stories are there in this book explaining the concepts. It's Agora, Lingeshwari ji. Agora by Robert Swoboda. Thanks, Shashank.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tom.
Yes, Shwarna ji, please.
Thank you, Ram Garu. Beautiful, beautiful wisdom. And yeah, as you said, it's deep for us to contemplate how this karma works. And I love that Runanubandha word. After a long time, I'm hearing, even though we talk in English terms. But yeah, when we think about Runanubandha, then we don't have any pain. That's why coming into spirituality, only one can understand this karma, and we don't do further karmas. We need to understand ego. He beautifully mentioned not signing. That is the ego. When we sign, it is inactive.
Yeah.
So with the ego, keep ego aside and then act. And also knowledge, gnana the karmanam also coming into this picture. So when we have this knowledge of what is karma and who we are all equal, even if he steals or, if I have with me, no matter, how much I need. So these all are like beautiful knowledge one has to acquire and put it into practice. Then only that Runanubandha concept we can digest and we let go. Yeah, like not only with the money, also like emotions, especially, we share some things and we hurt, we expect. All these things is part of our life. But yeah, just we need to understand, we are here to realize God and not do further karmas and keep repeating. What is that? First line he mentioned, like punarapi jananam puranapi maranam. So it's beautiful. That's my favorite saying. I always use it. So yeah, thank you very much, Ram Garu.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Swarna. So basically, you said in your statements, letting go. That's a very wonderful state. And then it's basically letting go happens when we become wiser and understand certain reasons behind behind the events. And then the more and more we practice letting go, we reach to a stage that we don't even let in. So when we reach to a state of not even letting in, so means there is no even reason to go for letting go, then that is where we have completely stopped self-identifying, where the ego aspect completely disappears. So the practice of letting go takes us to a place of not even letting in, because we stop self-identifying, or let's say connecting with the ego. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful, Ramgar. Exactly. So the more we attach with that self, who we self are, who we are, and the higher self, then we easily let go. Things come. Even yesterday, one of the event, I was trying to attach with the money, I guess, and I didn't hear. It was like a god came and shouted, like, why do you need money? Type my husband shouted at me. So I felt like, oh, after that it hurted me, that feeling, what, I'm doing everything and why he has to say that. But after a while I just laughed at me, like, Marmatma is saying me, you're so happy, you need money or you need peace or love. So I just loved myself so much, and by the end of the day it was turned out so good, like everything is yours. So those kind of things. So yeah, little it comes, but just love that person, whoever hurted you, or the emotions what came in, and contemplate again, bring into higher self and self. So thank you so much.
Thank you Swarnaji. Yes, Vindhyaji.
Thank you, Ram Garu. You shared very well. Thank you. I like first of all, that name Aghora. Aren't Aghoras, there is a term for Aghoras in Himalayas and other places. Is that not the same?
Yes, it's the same. Aghora is one. It's just one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And yeah, everything, as you were reading, like how he said karma as Newton's law of cause and effect, and that is as simple as it can get. And how you explain, when nobody can take more than what you owe them, right? It's so don't resist, and then you add karma to it. So that statement also, I liked it so much. And your friend's example you gave about that rent, and how beautifully he said, like, I could have spent that money on some, medical bills or something. Instead, I got it done like this. So thank you very much.
Yeah. We even keep on hearing in India statements like, when you lose something or someone robs from a person, they say, okay, be happy, at least your karma is reduced. Yeah, so I think somehow we had been continuously taught these great truths in a very different way. We keep on listening to these statements. However, unless and until we are not ready, we don't connect to those truths, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you for picking these articles and reading. I mean, from the book.
Thank you, Vindhyaji. Thank you. So thanks everyone again, and just going through the comments. Thanks for everyone writing in the comments. Can you repeat the statement once again, Nilima? So now I don't know which statement you're referring to.
No, you said a statement while speaking with Seshank. I lost that one and thought of like asking at that time, so I wrote immediately. But now, yeah, there are so many things which makes me, rethink what is happening with all the events or with all the experiences. So that's why I'm like literally translating your each word and seeing, trying to connect the dots. And that's why like I thought of asking, but yeah, now I don't know.
Okay. I don't remember which statement you refer now, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, friends. Thanks a lot then. I wish you all a wonderful evening, wonderful day, depending on from where you're connecting. And we will see each other soon back on the Beam platform. Namaste again. Bye bye.